Welcome everyone to the Seeds Storyteller Series with my dear sister and brother, Prakriti and Gokul, joining us from Kathmandu, Nepal. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yes,
Namaste, everybody. So
namaste.
this is really a big honor for us to have this conversation with you amid this crisis.
Yes.
Every time when I see your face, it just like it makes my day beautiful. So I'm really grateful for some energy that just connected me,
Yes.
us to you, and to
Yes.
every beautiful soul and people around the world.
And that is exactly the heartbeat, the vision, our passion, the three of us together wanted to come and have a conversation about what I wanted you all to hear, what my dear friends are up to, who they are, why they're doing what they're doing, who they're serving, and how their lives are being impacted by this pandemic that is, there is no one, no place in the world where we are not feeling this disruption.
Exactly.
And we want to both honor that and be prayerful and companion those whose lives are hurting because of that. And I also so want to share stories of friends of mine that are saying, within this pain, within this struggle, we are going to love, we are going to serve, we are going to do what we can to make life better, to do our part, to really love each other. And that is what y'all are doing. So, for those of you that are joining live or on the replay, you can count on stories to inspire, stories to encourage. We invite you to lean in and listen to our friends' stories and look for some clues to your own story, what matters to you, how you might be inspired by these dear friends to think anew, to do anew, to live ablaze and to light up the world. And so it'll be, this conversation will last about 45 minutes. So just kind of get comfy and join us. Imagine that you're with us in a little cozy living room or a cafe having a conversation about the stuff that is really important and that will inspire. So, first of all, will you guys share a little bit about what is happening in the city of Kathmandu, both this big city and then kind of in the rural parts of the country of Nepal amidst the corona pandemic that is affecting so many people in the world? How is it affecting your family and your country today?
So, would you like to? So actually, this Corona crisis is just what I felt is it is disproportionately hurting the system, economic systems, or disproportionately it is bringing about the crisis in the life of privileged and non-privileged. So we call ourselves a very privileged because we have home to stay inside.
Yeah,
We have food to eat. We have everything to entertain ourselves.
yeah,
But there are so many people when we just hear about the news, and this is the time we just go through the social media and learning about how difficult the life for those underprivileged
right.
people who is like even staying inside home means dying of like hunger, and is staying outside or go out of your home means dying of virus or dying of some uncertainty. So it is just so
So it's a
much
hard
of like
choice
the
either way. You know, you
either way it
stay
is just
home and lock down.
unimaginable. And it's still I have some friends we still complain about lockdown in the room with
Right.
all those comfortables, all those comfy, still they are not happy with life. So it's just really very hard.
Yeah.
If we just look into the people who are less blessed than us,
Yeah.
then we realize how blissful we are and how grateful we
Yeah.
should be to this for this life, this wonderful life we have got in our life. Yes,
Mm.
so this is the one part that is my personal opinion. And other thing is like we have like from this crisis what we have learned is we have been facing a social stigmatization, I would say, in the
Yeah.
sense like people are like afraid of each other, which we could have never imagined 1 month ago. Definitely we have like some untouchability caste systems is there, that is also like not treating every human being equal, but that is something different. But now it's again like we are practicing, every one of us is practicing, and now it's a time that we feel how it is to feel that somebody is like stigmatizing you, or somebody is
Right.
like afraid of you, somebody is just um, like not happy to be like together,
Right.
or to be near to each other. So it's just a kind of
Can
very
I ask, Prakriti?
unprecedented situation that happens in my lifetime, in lifetime of my generation.
So I have a question. When you're talking about social stigmatization, are you saying that you are seeing that going on with people who have coronavirus, or with just between people in fear that someone might have it, or
Yes. So far, I have not met anybody with corona positive. It's
okay.
just that in fear of if somebody is coughing, or even
Yes.
just to go
Yes.
like they just want to maintain a distance, which is a very
Right.
um, essential step that everybody should follow. But it's just because we all are human, so we have
Right.
human fire in us, and just to see that somebody is really afraid of you, which we never
Right.
expected, that is really something that is that brings unbearable like pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are, in your heart, it's one of your great passions to have people connect and have people really care for each other. And so I can understand that it brings you pain that you're seeing all these, people living very separate, afraid of each other lives. You did speak when you were talking about that, about the caste system. So will you, for people that don't know what that is, will you share what the caste system is, and how it impacts
Yes,
um,
yes, yes. So
you and the
actually,
world?
yes, yes. So actually, the caste system is. Do you want to say something or? Okay, so actually, the caste system is a system that is just like differentiate the people based on the caste, which in which they born. Like we belong to Brahmin, which is the upper on the hierarchy, and then there is a Kshatri, that is those who are into like those who goes to um, what it's called, the warrior or the bravery, that is a symbol of bravery. And there are other three castes. There is I think there are four
And
hierarchy.
at the bottom of caste system, it's untouchables.
Hmm.
So they are supposed to be not to touch other people from the higher level caste.
Like physically not touch, not share
Yeah,
a,
not
Yes,
physically,
not
not talking, even not
share.
entering the temples, not
Yeah.
entering into public places where
Yeah.
other caste people also, can go, but the untouchables can't go there. But this is already outlaw by our constitutions, and
Yeah. Was it in
there is a huge awareness.
a long time ago, right? Gokul,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
long time ago, and
1950?
but we have a new constitutions in 2015 that has also guaranteed, equal rights to all, and there is no caste systems in our constitutions. So legally, we all are equal,
yes,
but still
yes,
there are some practices, and
yes. So
Sure.
that is playing a steady rate of decline, because
Which
people
is
are much
good.
more aware, and all
Yeah.
are well mixed up in the society. Everyone is now educated, having jobs, and
Right.
they are just now mixed up. Like I have also my friends from that group, but we eat together. Say they
Right.
come to my home, I also go to
Yes.
their home. Even at this table at my hotel, I have invited some friends.
Right.
In the beginning of a kind of
but
inaugurations, we had
yes,
a lunch, and together, and we drink.
Which year, years ago, that would have never happened. And now
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you're
Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
meals and friendship and life together.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so back to the two of you. So first of all, I didn't even say this. So y'all are married, husband and wife, partners in life, and partners in work, and just just forever and ever together. So,
Wonderful.
Gokul, will you talk a little bit about Access Nepal? Um,
Uh,
both both what you're doing in Access Nepal, and then how um, the corona pandemic is impacting your work. Just right, kind of bring it very specific to today, what's happening in this lifelong passion of yours.
yeah, actually, I'm into kind of human rights movement for the last 15 years.
Yes.
And in 2009, I set up my own organizations, and that was more focusing on service delivery to the victim children. So I started because I have seen there are a lot of organizations working on research, working on empowerment.
Mm,
I also work with them. In the beginning, I was also into like imparting trainings to stakeholders on child right issues. To make schools child friendly, society more child friendly.
yeah.
Through different trainings and orientations, it was done for a long time, and in the process I realized I'm more uh, interested into providing relief and
Yeah.
services to the children who need it at the moment. So I set up Access that is particularly focusing on providing very immediate relief to the victim children so that
Wow.
they can get back to normal childhood. For
So
example,
when
we
you
are
say victim, can I ask you a question? When you say victim children, what is there a root cause of what you're seeing these children being victims of, or is it kind of many things?
yeah, victim means when children are deprived of their basic human rights,
Yeah.
like going to schools,
Yeah.
living with their parents and with their communities. These things are missing, and additionally, they are being tortured, they are being neglected, they are being abused and exploited through, labor exploitation, sexual abuse, separation from families and their own community. This is
Yeah.
creating this victimize the children.
Yeah.
So in such situations, we rescue the children. For
Yeah.
example, if children is working in a hotel, in a small tea shop,
Yeah.
and there he is exploited, he has to work, uh, long working hours, and even he has to clean the, dishes,
Yeah.
floors without any break, without any food. So it's kind of neglect and the kind of slavery situation is there.
Absolutely. How do
And the
you
children,
find those kids, Gokul? Do people report, the tea shop, they saw a young child working and they know about your work, or do you just notice it as you're, going about your business in Kathmandu?
actually, sometimes we get, it's not that only I'm rescuing it. There is a
Yeah,
team, we have
sure.
uh, though you can see me as a person, but there is
Yes.
many people, together with whom
Yes.
we work in a kind of alliance.
Yes.
There is a police, there is a different NGOs, including Access, and also personally me. So
Yeah.
we get information also sometimes. We get the information from the community people also. They report it to the police. Sometimes they call to us or any another NGO. So we work in collaborations.
Yeah.
And once we get to know about it, we just go there and make some assessment. Then
Yeah.
after, if the child is really, abused, then we rescue the child and put them
Wow.
in our transit home. We have a transit home, and we provide them counseling. We provide counseling to the child, and we make him or her sure that he's in a safe hand now. If
Hmm.
needed, we take him to hospitals, and we try to find out the family of that the boy and girl. And we
Wow.
contact the family and tell the whole stories. And then after, the parents are really happy, to get the child back. In the beginning, when they really they hear about the ordeal of their children,
Oh,
went through,
yeah.
sometimes they also cry on the phone,
Oh, of course.
knowing that,
Yeah.
because normally parents are sending their kids to the city hoping that they would have at least some better life, because
Yes.
in the rural Nepal, they are illiterate, they
Yeah.
are misguided, and they are very easy to trick, you know.
Sure.
Anyone can trick them.
Sure.
So
Promise a great job in the city for.
yeah, great job and good food, good
Yeah.
life, and the city
Yeah.
life is something parents have imagined, you know, dream
Yes.
for themselves also, and
Yeah.
now their children is going to live their dream. They feel like
Yes.
that.
Right. Right. So let me ask you this: with what's happening now, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks for lockdown in all of Nepal, or just in Kathmandu?
Throughout Nepal, it's a
So
totally lockdown.
how, yeah, so are you still doing this work, like or are all the tea shops and the hotels closed? I mean, how does this impact the
Now,
work of?
now our government is rescuing children from street. So we
Okay.
are not specialized on street children, but sometimes also we get children from the street in emergency cases. But normally
Sure.
we accept children from labor exploitation, sexual abuse, you know,
Yeah.
because we are more specialized on it. And but the government is continuing the work to rescue children from street. Our
Wow.
government policy is to have no children at all on the street.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
So how about, I have another question. How is human rights and especially children's kind of security, has this always been something that has captured your attention, has always been important to you, or was there a moment when you got older as an adult that it became important to you? How did you come to do this work?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
How did you come to do this
Okay,
work?
okay.
Is it
It's
from
it's
like,
not. Yeah,
okay,
okay, sorry.
no,
Actually, it's not a plan, you know. It's not a planned
yeah,
thing. It just
right,
happened, you know.
yeah,
I feel my destiny is pushing me in that directions.
sure,
If I look back, then doing social work in this at this level is
hmm,
not something I have planned or dreamed. I had a dream of becoming something else.
Actually, if it will take another session to talk about his personal life or what dragged him into his work.
Yeah. It
If
just
he would,
happened. You know, I met the right people on the right time. They gave me, they showed me, you know, right directions. There are many people
well,
who,
destiny, like you said, it's destiny,
yeah,
right?
it's a universal, you know, thing. I really believe in universal force, you know.
and nowadays I'm thinking that we just happened to come to this earth and we didn't have any wish or I don't remember if there was any wish or it just happened. So and
Yeah,
there's no reason of your word
I
of
just
your
flow with the, you know,
what is
times,
within
yes,
us.
yes,
flow with the situations, flow with the learning experiences, you know. And
yes,
in the process, many people have helped me to shape my dream, to shape
mm,
my mind, you know, to shape everything to reach this point.
And what I have realized is
wow,
once you start something, you just keep going on that. And
yes, right,
you cannot like it skips so easily and that
Another
becomes your
another
destiny,
another
your
thing is your hard work is a must. You need to work hard.
yeah, right,
That is the very central part of you know, everything. If you work hard, then thing will turn out, you know,
right.
um, in a right directions, in a right form,
Yeah,
sooner or
you're
later.
saying it's just because it's your destiny doesn't mean you just kind of sit back and it just happens. It's destiny and
You need to
it's,
work hard. We can say just work hard. Yeah.
I would like
yes,
to
I
add
love
here a
that.
little bit because today is a Mother Day. And as I told you, my mother is in US with my sister in California. And like a few days back, I had called with my mother, and she was talking about her work. Because for last 2 years, our life was so much in chaos that we were never in one stable place. We were always
Yes,
like going from one place to another and never stayed in one place for 1 year. So we were before we were in Vasundhara, then Panipokuri, then Dapasi, then we will go to Balwatar. So this 2 years has been such a hectic time of our life. And my mother
yes,
just called me a few days back, and what she told me is I will never forget that. I remember in our childhood, she always used to tell us work hard, work hard.
Mm,
Work is your God, work is your destiny. That is how we were raised.
wow.
And my mother was regretting for teaching us to work hard. Because of work, I could not even have time to call my mother. And she told me that I regret that I taught you to work hard. So just about like
Wow.
Yeah.
just like
Maintaining
balancing
maintaining
your
social
personal life, your
relations.
family life,
That is
and
very important
that
too.
is very, very important.
Yes. Well, and we're going to talk before we wrap up about what each of you, especially you, Prakriti, really are committed to around meditation and taking a breath, especially in the midst of what's happening in this corona pandemic. But before we get to that, I do want to ask you, sister. First of all, teach us how to say sister and brother in Nepali, please.
Sister is sister. Actually, sister has we call it Didi, and we call each other Didi, which is
Yes.
not correct.
Okay.
Uh,
Only one
for the
person can be
younger
Didi.
one may I could be
Il-
Didi or you could be Didi, and one of us has
Is
to be
Bahini.
Baini.
Yes.
Elder sister
I'm
and younger
Didi.
sister.
You're Baini. I know. I'm
Baini. So he is Dai or
I'm
Bhai.
Bhai. I'm Bhai. I'm just 22 years
You're
old.
Bai. Yes, and
Yeah, I'm
I'm yes.
22.
Right, right. I'm 23, so that makes me yeah.
Okay, so
So older sister is Didi, younger
yes,
sister is Baini,
Baini. Yes,
and
yes.
then older brother is Dai,
Dai,
and younger brother is
Bhai.
Bhai,
Bai.
I'm Bhai.
Bhai.
Yes, you're Bai. Yes, forever, forever. Okay, so Baini, my sister.
Hmm.
So will you talk to us? You have so many parts and pieces of your passion in life, but let's just one thing that I would love for folks to hear about is Shakti Milan, which is it's a business, a social enterprise, right?
Yes, 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 it is.
And what is it translated? What does it mean again?
It means Shakti Milan means power of women coming together.
Yes. Yes. So
I
talk
just
to
feel like
us.
it has come together.
Oh, yes. So talk to us about what it is that has fueled this work, this passion. Because speaking of hard work, it is hard work. And what it is that you do with Shakti Milan.
Actually, there are so many reasons why I started it. That if I really go back into like 5 years ago when I was still in a business school, and there I fortunately when we were moving to Panipokuri, I found a paper that I wrote to apply to enroll in business school. I found that
Huh.
statement of interest like that I wrote I think 8 years ago,
Wow.
and I was actually surprised to read what I wrote at that time. And I clearly mentioned that I want to do something that promotes the rural economy of this country. And I
Mm.
didn't know what that does that mean, and I didn't know how does that work. I had
Yeah.
no idea. I just found that paper, and then it just made me realize that there is an unconscious mind. There is somewhere. I was always passionate. I was always fascinated about this women equality, like gender equality. We need to do something that
Yeah.
economically empower women. And when I'm talking about women, I'm talking about the marginalized women
Yes.
who are less fortunate than us, who didn't get education. And they could be the next scientist, they could be the next doctor,
Yeah.
but they didn't get an opportunity. So it's a pity of our system, the system that we are believing, the system that
Mm.
is not like taking everybody inclusively. That
Right.
is why these underprivileged people are the victim of our system. And I was always fascinated. And as my mother, we are three sisters, and you just imagine living in a patriarchal society. My mother just gave birth to three daughters, and to live with this like a son preferred society,
Yeah.
just having daughter, I can imagine my mother being uneducated, have no clue about how to raise these three girls with all those criticism that is just thrown to her to
Yeah.
break her into millions of pieces. And then I just, from my childhood, I was kind of, I think I am kind of
Rebellion,
revolutionary, that
she's like
I
a
say no to things I don't like. I'm not a perfect fit to the society. And I always like started questioning, even from my team, I
Mm.
started questioning things should not be this way. And how could I correct? And it
Wait a
just
second.
started.
Did you have anyone, even as a little girl, that an auntie or someone that was fueling that spirit in you, or was it really just coming from?
It's definitely, it's we as a whole is collections of all those experiences
Yeah.
surrounding and upbringing. I would say my mother, she is a very strong woman. I can imagine how difficult it was for her, but still she
fighting.
always keep on fighting all those
Wow.
status quo, all those like conservative mindset, and she made me believe that I am, especially among my three sisters, she just felt that I could be somebody that that could be like that could be
She
the
will be
person
proud.
that
Yeah.
she would proud of. And she started like, she also used to tell me that if I would have got the education,
Mm.
if she would have got the education, she would be what I am today. So she
Wow.
said that to me. And so it's just like my mother and her like difficult life, all this
Yeah.
are somehow fueling what I am today. And
Absolutely.
it made me more like narrowing down my way, that what work I'm really passionate about. So Shakti Milan is just the result of all my
Hmm.
like experiences that I had and what I am having right now. So it's a social enterprise. We started almost like 6 years ago, with nothing, just with one sewing machine, not having any proper business model that how it worked, and taking the most marginalized women into the board. And it was such a difficult time. I still remember that, because this
Mm.
is a revenue-based enterprise. We have to also keep sustainability in our
Yeah.
central as our central agenda. And at the same time, we have to like keep on this really woman who had like brutal past, who
Yes.
is so fearful about her present, and who has no hope for the future.
Yeah.
Take this women into the board and keep them motivating. I remember that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when we started, women just came and they they cry, at the same
Mm.
time they laugh. So it's a
Mm.
crazy moment. And we just came across, and it was a learning journey, because I never worked anywhere. Everything I learned, it was, these women are my teachers. They taught me what it is to be living the life that I am living now. And
Mm.
I should be so grateful to God for all these blessings and all these privileges that I have got in my life. So this is the story of Shakti Milan.
Will you
And
tell
we
this?
And
shouldn't,
Oh, go
I
ahead,
think we
Gokul.
shouldn't, sorry, and we shouldn't forget the mentioning the great
people,
couple with whom we started Shakti Milan Nepal. It's a Costin and Oliver from Germany. They are really
Okay.
wonderful people. They want to help and empower the
Wow.
community. They have a very clear vision that it's not something they want to implement. They just enable us to create idea and implement ourselves.
yes, yes,
Wow.
That
That's
matches the
awesome.
soil of this land. So
Yeah.
they just enable us with the marketing, with the business ideas, and they allow Prakriti to fly on her own.
Mm.
But
That's
we are
and it's
partners, and they are just few days before we had a talk with them, and they
yes.
are really happy.
Yes,
Um,
and one more thing, that what Shakti Milan really does, I would like to clear that this is the social enterprise that is primarily focused on upcycling things, that is environmental friendly. So we are primarily working for the also like some of our small part as the environment conservations and sustainability and social justice and economic empowerment of women. And yes, we are
amazing.
producing bags from upcycling used rice sack. which could be the garbage if we would not have turned that
Actually,
into
we
bags.
collect it from the garbage, pile of garbage. We have
Wow.
a garbage collection. People, they collect it from the
Yep.
pile of garbage.
Yep.
So the Shakti Milan products are has a very multiple goods.
Hmm.
One is like it is doing women empowerment, working on women empowerment issues by offering job to the most marginalized women, and another side,
Amazing.
it is contributing to the preservation of environment by producing upcycle products.
I
And
love
at the same
it.
time, we are inviting students, we are inviting business students, to learn about upcycles,
Social
environment
business.
protection, social business, women empowerment. The people come to visit our factory, and we are always welcoming them. We are also going to schools to organize some awareness program on upcycle and environment.
It's
Yes. So
amazing.
here
When do
I
you
would like to
sleep?
add, yes, here I would
When?
like to add one more thing that so far, like in our 6 years of journey, we have
Hmm.
transformed this social business into a community, and that I really am really proud of.
Yes.
It is not just a network of women; it's a
No.
community of women that supports
Yes.
each other and that really believes in lifting each other up. As
Hmm.
I also mentioned that I got a call from Bhagwati. She's one of the women who like joined us from the very beginning of Shakti Milan. And she just called me and she was actually asking me how she can help me. And honestly, I always believe that I am the one who help people.
Yes.
Because that was what I was doing. And all of a sudden, I got that call from her. She is offering her help. And it is just, I was, honestly, I was paused. I could not see a single word.
Right.
And this is the moment that this is the vision that we created Sakti Milan, just to empower
Yes.
women and make her believe in her power and make her decide what she wants. And she is, once she was helpless, she is
Mm.
offering help. And it doesn't
Yes.
really mean that her help always has to come in tangible form.
Yep.
That her word, that positive prayers and that positive belief, that and positive attitude that she really wants to support us in this critical time, that matters to us a lot, and that makes my beautiful day and beautiful every day. That makes
Yeah.
every day beautiful with that small thought of prayers and positive vibes that is coming around from around the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad because I was going to ask you about that story because I love that story. So how about so just on a human level, you guys are married, you have a beautiful daughter, very full lives of passion and vision and a lot to do. And then the corona pandemic happened and everything kind of shut down. So how what is something that is a blessing even of this shutdown for you, for your family? And then what's been something hard that you've needed to lean on each other, or it's just been a hard thing
Yes, yes,
in your
yes.
life?
So actually, lockdown definitely. This is if I just exclude the whole world, everybody from this earth, if I delete everybody,
Hmm.
and if I just think about myself and my family, it is the golden time that I get to spend with my daughter, with him,
Hmm.
with my family. It's just something that I was missing for last 2 years. The life was
Yep.
too
Me too,
busy
yes.
last 2 years. It was too busy. I could not
Yeah.
imagine. I used to work like 10, 12 hours a day, not even have time to have proper breakfast or lunch. And it was just too busy. And
Yeah.
then I just realized that um, like I was missing this like personal part of me that I was
Hmm.
always craving for. I was always passionate about meditations, reading, and doing something like
Hmm.
listening to music, doing nothing. That is the moment that I always like wish that I could have time to do nothing, just to listen to myself,
Hmm.
go deep down to me, who I am, and like my quest to understand myself, that I was always passionate about. And this is, for me, it's a golden time to to understand myself, getting time to do meditation that I always wanted to do, reading things that books that I always wanted to read, and just enjoying the comedy videos, like funny videos,
Right.
laughing. Just
Right.
that's the golden time if I talk about myself. But
Mm.
if I include everybody in this like uh, in the frame, then
Yeah.
I think this is such a tragic time. But I'm still hopeful, and everybody should be hopeful, because we should not forget that every crisis is, if we look into the history, every
Mm.
crisis is bringing some new development. And actually this kind of crisis fast forward the whole development system,
Mm.
which in normal condition would not have been doing, or going in that pace. So just be hopeful that this is just temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has an end.
Yeah.
This tragedy will end, and everything will be settled. So things will not be remain unsettled for a long time. This
Mm.
the if so, then we'll have to go against the nature of law. So it will not allow unsettlement for a long time. So just be hopeful for the future,
Mm.
and just be gratitude. Show your gratitude for being alive one more day. Just look at the sun. That just feel that it is coming to you. You are still like seeing this beauty from your eyes, and just listening
Mm.
to music from nature, and smelling the
Yeah.
fragrance of this soil. That
Mm.
just make you feel so worthy of experiencing all this, like mystery of nature, mystery of universe. And yes,
Mm.
so that is my appeal to everybody. Keep
Mm.
calm, just be calm, be gentle to yourself, and this is the right time that you can like pursue your uh, passion that you have, or your hobbies that you would not have otherwise done. Otherwise you would always be in a rush, that in this
Yeah. Not
physical world.
time for that.
No, not yes, exactly. So
Have
just
you
be your
guys have you guys as a family found yourselves doing to that point passions or hobbies or playful things that you didn't do before? I don't know. The three of you guys.
what
Like
was
you
your
guys,
question?
would you say that the two of you and your daughter, because you were just talking about having more time for passions and hobbies and time to relax, would you say that your family has had time to do?
Actually, yeah, yes. Actually, to me, I never thought of like my work as a work, because this is my passion. This is just my
Right.
hobby. That what I want to do, I'm doing, and
Right.
I never felt like I work 10 hours a day. I never, because it's not work
You
at
never
all.
get tired, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
While working,
you are
yeah.
physical. Physical. We are human, so definitely we get tired.
Sure.
But not mentally, we are not like
Not tired.
retarded,
Yeah.
not tired from mentally. We are never tired of
Yeah.
our work, and definitely we were enjoying our time, because my daughter says like, because, and I would say is, we are not in we are self-employed, or we are into like pursuing our passion, and that is our work. So
Yes.
most of the time, 24 hours a day, I would say 20 hours every day we are together.
Now.
Because all our work is interconnected,
Yes. Right.
and my daughter has to go to school. That is
Right.
the only hours we have to reduce. Otherwise we three are always together. And
Right.
my daughter is, I don't remember when was the last time she cried. She's such an easygoing girl. She's
Oh.
happy, she's a chatterbox, she just speak a lot, she just keep on
Oh.
talking, playing, and do everything that she wants. And I am so
Blessed, you know,
blessed
to have
to
her.
have her in our
Very.
life.
Oh, wow. So how about you,
It's
Gokul?
not
What
that
would you
this
say for
lockdown.
you? Oh, sorry,
Sorry?
Prakriti. Go ahead.
No, I was just telling. Not this lockdown is definitely has given me more time for me personally.
Yeah.
That what I wanted to do, but I would say we were enjoying life, even in our like chaotic
Yeah,
or in
regular
any
life.
chaos, or
because
Any
like every
Yes.
morning in our bed and breakfast we make breakfast for our guests, and we have a really good
Yes.
talk, and that will give us different perspective on different things. It's
Right.
always learning and sharing. So every day is so exciting. We have a different work. It's not that same work we do whole day.
Yeah.
We have a two small hotels, and we really take care of it in the morning. Then after
Yes.
I have my own work, and she has also Shakti Milan. So we work, somehow together, and we have a team of women, be it in our small hotels or in a transit home or in a
Yeah.
Shakti Milan. So
and one thing
uh,
I would like to clear here is we have Shakti Milan workstation, his transit home where we have
it's just
this.
next house,
It's the same, not the same house, but it's
next.
just adjoined to each other. So
Yes.
our office is there, or everything is
Yes.
on the same place.
Oh my
It's like
gosh.
a community. It's really like a community,
Yes, a
And
big
kids from
community.
our transit home, they come to see the Shakti Milan women. They come and to talk to them. It's like a really
And
community.
it is community in the sense that the children who were like trapped into slavery, and the children from our working women. So
Mm.
they
They are
are friends.
together.
They are
They are
friends,
friends. They play together.
Wow.
Uh,
and we have childcare
So
centers. So
beautiful.
it is a community that
we have created,
yes.
Oh, I
and
love it.
all the women who are working with us, they are from marginalized community.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we give priority, to those women who are really pushed behind, and
Yes.
we are offering them jobs. And through our human rights network, we are getting these unfortunate girls and women, and we bring them
Amazing.
here, we train them, and they are working with us.
Amazing. Thank you for all of the things that you are doing. It's it's incredible. Very inspirational. So Gokul, for you, what would you say um, is something that in the midst of the busyness of life before lockdown, or even during lockdown, it's not busy, but it can be a different kind of stress or challenge. What would you say when you have a stress in your life or a challenge? How do you, what is one or two things that you do to get through the stress with the smile that you have on your face and with hope and with joy? Because I know you do.
Yeah, for me, actually, when there's
I think
stress,
I think I'm the right person to answer this question because I know him better than he knows himself. And
Yes.
I have honestly, Sarah, we are married for last 11 or 12 years. I
uh,
don't remember the date, and I don't want to. But I have never seen this man in stress.
Wow.
He's
Do you
never
feel
stressed.
it, Gokul? Do you ever feel stress?
actually, uh, yeah, there is sometimes a stress. Yes, maybe people may not be able to detect, that is
Yeah,
stress.
that's quite a thing to
I
say, by
feel
the way,
more stress
Prakriti.
when something wrong goes with the family.
Yeah,
But outside stress, I never take it that way. But
yeah,
for me, family is very much important,
yeah,
because we live together, we share everything, and I'm
yeah,
a very ordinary guy. I love my family very, very much, and
yeah,
my friends, I love them very much.
yeah.
So when something goes wrong, then it really stresses me.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, but somehow I manage it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we can overcome it. As Prakriti says, everything has an end. You just need to be a little bit
Yes.
patient, and every stress teaches you something. You make it makes you
Yes.
stronger.
Right.
Like this pandemic, it is making hopefully making whole humanity, making the group
To
of
the next level,
leaders,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
more strong and realizing the humanity, through
Right.
their actions and thought.
Right.
This is a chance. This is a golden chance for our leaders, for our global leaders, to understand human civilizations, to understand how well we are connected. We cannot
Yes.
act, independently. We are
No.
dependent to each others. So this is the time our leaders can reflect
Yes.
and to
And
realize that
all
we
of
are not that.
us,
Yes, yes.
all of us. What would you say when lockdown is lifted, when you can go out and or people come in more? What's like the first thing that you're excited to do after you can go anywhere?
Frankly speaking, not only after lockdown I would do that or these things, but I'm already very much excited even to recall those moments when I really go to village to see kids. That is the best part. I really want to do that
To go see the
right after
kids.
lockdown. Yeah, I normally go to village to see the kids how they are doing. That
Yeah.
is best part of my life.
Wow. Right.
Definitely, my time with family is always best. But when I go there, with the nature, you can see it's not only supporting the children, it's also finding yourself, time for
Yes.
yourself, being with the nature. You can just imagine, there's no roads, you have to walk,
Right.
to the
Right.
to the mountains, and you have to cross the rivers, you have to, pass the jungles. That is, and you finally you meet the kids who are really waiting, somewhere on the top of mountains, and you
Wow.
go to their home, they had some food for us, and talk and just support them for
Oh,
their school education. It's a best
sounds
part really. I'm
amazing.
really missing that part.
Gokul, what do you hear from the kids that are back in the villages?
Yeah, I'm hearing,
How they're
and
doing?
at the moment, yes, most of the families we are supporting are really backward in terms of their economic conditions. And normally in rural Nepal, almost all people have some kind of, economic, scarcity issues.
Yes.
So the most of the children we are getting back to the family, they have the same situations. So what I'm now doing is I'm contacting with them, and most of the contact I couldn't establish, but
Yeah.
whoever I have contacted, we are arranging some food for them through
Mm.
school principal or teachers, local leaders, and I have promised them I will clear the bill once the lockdown is over,
Wow. Wow.
because now they also don't have work and there is no
Right.
work. Yeah.
Right. Which is what you were saying, Prakriti, about that terrible choice to stay in your home and
Yes.
lock down and not have enough food for your children or go out. And yeah, it's very hard
And
choice.
the government, the local government, we have now elections, and we have a
Mm.
local representative at local government level. So they are also offering, the government relief package to the family. So this is
Mm.
also really helping to ease the problem, to some
Great.
extent.
Great. What about you, Prakriti? What are you looking forward to doing once you can leave?
Actually, I think I will.
Actually, after lockdown, I'm really planning to take her to, because she's also many time, join me to go to village.
Right.
And after lockdown, I really wish to take her to the village.
Yeah, so we'll do that together. But on for me, once this lockdown is over, and few days back we had talked, what would you like to
Yeah.
do right after lockdown? Now I think I would like to go to the old town. That is, you also must have been there. It's
Yes.
just next to Thana. So that is the town that is always filled with people. You
Yes.
have just one space that you can stand. That's
Yes.
all. I just
You
want
never
myself.
fall. You
So
never fall.
see, I
There is
just
always
want
someone,
myself to be like stand with all these people,
Oh,
and if somebody just like pushing me, I would not fall down. So there's always like a lot of
someone,
people
surrounding you.
you just want to be with people
traveling.
again. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
just
love
with
that.
crowd and
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, before we need to wrap up. Um and before we do, I want to invite those that are watching either live or on the replay to kind of replay the story that Gokul and Prakriti have been talking about, and notice what one thing is kind of capturing your mind or your heart's attention. And our invitation is to invite you to take that inspiration and choose one thing that you want to do different. I call it inspired action. What part of their story is something you want to connect to your own. So we, the three of us, want to invite everyone watching to just really connect your story with theirs and explore how you want to be and do different because of what you've heard today. And we also really very much want to share our love with everyone watching. They both said it so beautifully. We know that hearts are breaking, stomachs are hungry, money is scarce. There's a lot of hardship in the world, everywhere around the world. So if that is where you are, the three of us just want to send some love, and our prayers are with you. Please reach out to us and let us know how we can be holding you in prayer and be a part of this sister and brotherhood around the world. We can't go it alone, that is for sure, especially when times are hard. So before we wrap up, I want to ask each of you to share one last something with everyone who is listening and watching. One last story, something that you're like, oh, this is the thing I want to leave everyone with. So what would your last kind of word from each of you be? I call it a seed of a story from our storytellers.
Okay, so is this like something should be related with this COVID crisis or
It can
something
be
just random?
anything, anything.
Okay. So I just want to I just want to tell everybody that this is the wonderful life that we have got. We have consciousness that actually differentiate us from the animals, and every one of us has some power to change the world, and that is possible. And when I'm talking about like changing the world, it is somehow related to changing the behavior of human, not behavior of any animals. So if we keep on like changing our behavior, everyday behaviors, it could be a conscious buying that
Yeah.
would support the
Yes.
ethical supply chain, because from through this platform I would also like to appeal everybody to be conscious about your decision, that how is it helping the environments, or is it
Yes.
destroying our environments or not, and is it destroying the dream of those laborer who are dependent on the products that you are buying, and your buying decisions should not exploit any human being. So I just, my appeal to every human being is just be cautious, be conscious about your decision.
Yes.
Try to be inspired, and you are an inspiration yourself, and get inspirations. Just spread positivity,
Yes.
hope, love, and compassion. These are the words, and just show your gratitude to this like spaceless and timeless cosmos, infinite cosmos, and just believe that you are nothing. We are nothing, and all these egos and everything, it just start vanishing, and you will just start seeing, and you will start grasping everything with love and care, and that's just really beautiful. So that's my message to everybody around the world who's listening
Thank
today.
you.
So maybe he has something.
I don't have much. His Prakriti is really good in it. But uh, the thing is that I really believe in being grateful to everything.
Yeah.
If you feel that way, then you will find everything very easy in your life. Life is so simple, and the people, we try to make it more complicated. We shouldn't do that. Just accept the thing. Just let the time heal, and be grateful to everything. Whatever you have family, you have um, good family, good support systems. We need to appreciate that. We need to be grateful to everything, whatever we have.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. In Nepali, how do you say thank you?
Dhanyavad.
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 So, Dhanyavad to the two of you. Dhanyavad to all of you watching. Thank you for sharing your time, for taking in the gift of this story. and for looking to learn and connect with these
Thank
incredible
you.
people.
Thank you, Sarah,
Oh,
for
it's been awesome.
Yes, this is really wonderful opportunity for us to share about our work
Yes.
and yeah,
to
just
tell our stories to the world, through you.
yeah.
Yes.
It's really a pleasure, and we
Yes.
hope we will have more, interaction like this. You
I
give
hope
us
to be
more
sitting
space.
there in your bed and breakfast one day. That's my hope.
Yeah, it's our, one day when you come to
Yes.
Kathmandu, this is the place.
Yes.
This is the place.
Oh,
Uh,
I agree.
yeah, this is our small hotel.
Oh, what
Yes.
it's so beautiful. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for sharing your stories, for just being the human beings you are, and for doing the work you're doing. It's an incredible blessing to me and to the world. And I wish you the most beautiful rest of your day and can't wait to talk to you again. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.